Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Field of Glory Empires as Persia. We've got a offensive to continue against basically the Greeks. So we're against war with Sparta, Athens, Macedonia, Argos, Calypsos, Byzanton, Etruskia, and a couple more because we were at war. We're actually, I think we're still at war with 9 different people. We're at war. We're at a pretty big war. 9 different people, I think. Athens, Etruskia, Macedonia, Nubia. Okay, we're still at war with Nubia. Not that I think Nubia is going to be a real problem for us. Calypsos, Sparta, and Eburos, and Argos. Case of Nubia, can we get a peace with you? 48% chance that we get a white peace. We'll just propose that. In the last part, we did pre-assign our troops their marching orders. Should relieve that siege. We should put Argos under siege. Fleet should be moving around to escort units going around. We got the invasion of Edom continuing. If everything goes according to plan, you'll, not this turn, but next turn, will overrun the last Edom territory. You'll start diverting to move towards the warfront over there. So let's go through the territories and get to moving. Capital is one of the places we're going to be doing a lot of work. Just remember to start up the timer, so I have an idea how long the part is. Could build up the arsenal. This is a place that it would potentially actually make sense to have the arsenal complete. I believe this affects the immortals, so this would let us build the immortals for far cheaper. So yeah, let's grab the arsenal. And then the main component of the capital, pick up the trade center. 30% more commerce, 5 more trade acumen, so that'll mean a lot more stuff will trade through the capital. And the commerce bonus there, you can see, is already going to provide 83 more money. Although it is maybe a little tempting in the capital to go loyalty. The loyalty is starting to drop. Now we'll go to the commerce for this one. As long as it gets finished reasonably quickly, that shouldn't be a problem. The loyalty will be, of course, too much of a problem. Here, we're going to go a little bit more loyalty because, well, it takes time to build those buildings. That's fine. Move the food guy to infrastructure to get the construction going a little bit faster. One open slot there in Armenia. The metal cost only applies to infantry and heavy infantry. It doesn't apply to our heavy cavalry, so we'll pass on the arsenal there. We'll do the preceptor house. That's probably overkill to get the preceptor house done, but that'll be fine. Actually, thinking about it, if that is overkill, I should swap that place over more to food. How much do we need for the preceptor house? Nothing. We need nothing for the preceptor house, so everything to food, yeah. The region growing a little bit more. At some point we want to revisit and grab more cataphract. Especially if the cavalry army, for example, gets deleted, we'll probably rebuild it. Bigger and better. Well, heavier and better. Maybe not bigger. Might still be the same size. Grab the school. 2 turns to build the school is fine. So we'll let it build in 2. Rebuild slots there. We're going to pass on the jewelry shop here. We got enough luxury sources nearby that I don't need it. The whole reason to build it would be to import the silver, which again I think we may literally be importing next to it. I think, yeah, you have the jewelry, so we've already got silver imported next door. So there's no point to even import the silver there. The land expansion though. Too far for the frankincense import. It's not good enough for trading tent. We'll do the archery range there, which we don't need any construction for, so put you on the culture and on the next one. That's fine. 2 build slots there. Not really liking any of those choices. There's better culture buildings I can get, there's better commerce buildings we can get. Let's do a reroll to try to hit some of those. Salt House. I suppose grab the Oration Tribune. This is a place that's growing pretty quickly because of all the food it makes anyway, so I definitely don't feel any problem trying to take these guys off of infrastructure and put them on culture. Or waiting for the people to grow anyway. Okay, we do similar here. Yeah, it does make sense to grab the farm, although I'm going to grab upgrades instead because they don't eat the slot, so we keep building. Get some more siege resist. We'll build siege resist in the place being siege, just to delay them even longer. Okay, if the place doesn't surrender, we should relieve the siege on this turn. This is a place we actually recruit archers at. Or may recruit archers at, so this makes a perfectly good place to build a Master Fletcher. Grab that weapons depot. And we'll grab the wall. This is definitely a good circumstance for going like, yeah, we might want a wall there. Although the level 1 wall probably by itself isn't enough to protect a place. Okay, we're never getting rid of the shifting dunes. Grab the worship place. That's a decent worship place. Nothing to build here. This may be a place that's actually worth because of the paved road. Continuing to try to grow. And we're pretty close to getting a paved road there. Yeah, we'll try and continue growing this area. Although these guys, this one in particular, I'm just like, we're not going to bother them to put that one in culture and just live that one in culture. Okay. 2 slots there. Training ground's not a bad choice. Five slots there. Build the wall, even though it doesn't take the slot. Don't need the loyalty. Don't like any of the choices. Reroll. It's fine. Swapping this to culture, probably. Yeah, that's a reason that probably use more infrastructure. We were going to try to more metagame there, but we're just trying to win at this point. And I think we're already on the route to winning, so it's just getting through the turns a little bit faster, so reducing the micro is just tactical for that. Judea. And we got some loyalty there, although a little bit tempted to take the gambling ring anyway for a little bit more. Yeah, let's take the gambling ring a little bit for more, or for a little bit more. Grab the tavern, assuming we don't have wine in range. Okay, don't do the tavern then. You know, actually do a reroll there. On the road. Easily done in a turn. Okay, well, this place has improved enough, stability-wise, that it can now get everything on the infrastructure, which is good because it's got lots to build. Oof, pain that whole place is not able to feed itself. Yeah, next turn we'll probably just give up on trying to make food and try to focus on growing, or on constructing stuff to make the food. Okay, troops are moving, fleet is moving, time to cycle the turn. Okay, oh dear. Macedonian fleet did manage to engage our army, not our fleet. So we're about to have one of our armies destroyed. Yeah. Okay, that's the ground army over there going into the assault. Quite successful. Okay. The navy that we would have wanted to fight the Macedonians is actually fighting the combined Argos-Athenian fleet. Sinking enemy warships with a stalemate. Okay, we lost one ship and sent the entire enemy fleet to the bottom. Okay, this time, this is what we really wanted to happen. This is both the army and the navy. Of course, the navy will protect the army when the army is at sea. So again, not getting away completely scot-free. We did lose a boat in exchange for the entire enemy fleet. Spend money to get more infrastructure. We'll buy slaves. So you deal with that field army. And then you, after getting mauled, obviously need replacements. If you can make that transit, do that transit. Okay, so it mostly looks like we lost the archers, which should be easy enough to replace. Yeah, we mostly lost the archers. So we need like 8 more archers to make that functional again. That's easy enough to do. Okay, these ones are pretty expensive, so we've got quite a few of them deployed, but we can just go ahead and we can afford to pay the extra cost. Pull 8 more of those out of our butt. Okay. Cavalry force, it's still a scorching desert, and we can't go to that last location. Okay, we're gonna do something like that. Preparation for trying to get you across again. We're gonna send you across to the port like so. You can stay in the Hellespont. That's a reasonable place to leave you. And we'll try to give these guys, give them the defensive army for the defensive gunner for the moment. Engage Navy on the way. That will help them. Hopefully, be a little bit less wrecked in the crossing. We're going to adopt the local administration, which, of course, if we can, we want to dump in Egypt. And we go through our provinces again. So we got a build to put here. Definitely not going to build a guard tower because it despawns when the population goes by 1. I'll be the tribune. Okay, Academy's not a bad thing to grab. So move people off of culture to get that done quicker. This is not a very good coin maker, obviously. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do the Preceptor House. And then again, toss enough on to trying to get that done in a turn. There's the Judean army. Disregard the fact that Judea has no country at this point. They're just a wandering army. But they're a very well-funded wandering army. That's all they need. Nah, do a reroll there. And the school should finish in a turn. So nothing else we need to mess with there. 4 options there, so we got lots to build. This is the place where we could build a Thassalan temple. So let's grab the cult site and potentially upgrade it to Thassalan temple. Reopen slots. Decent bank, but we're going to do the Palisade Fortified a little bit instead. Nobles District will be done next turn. Of course, the place is under siege. Probably want to keep trying to do what they're doing. We're still converting... Oh no, we are fully converted here. So this actually wouldn't be a bad place to build a Thassalan temple if it was under siege. And we were in trade range with the coral, which apparently we're not. Okay, we'll pass on that. We'll actually try to improve the walls in the middle of the siege. Okay. Yeah, probably want to build up the commerce line. Although a little bit more loyalty wouldn't be bad here, so let's grab the gambling ring. We don't need you on food anymore. Back on infrastructure. Decent bank. That's a coastal area. We'll build a wall there. So Linden 2. One of the places we decided we probably want to grow, except of course the desert. Scorching desert, it's not worth growing. It's a okay orchard. Do the furnace. Grab the courthouse. New location acquired here. We can start to improve the walls in the newly acquired location. That's fine. Land expansion's fine. Land expansions are fine. Large warehouse is nice. 5 into 3. Yeah, we'll grab the loyalty, or the noble district for the loyalty, and that gets us the 6 culture buildings, so we can start fishing for the tier 3s. Yep, tool manufacturer. We need tools down in that area, that'll help. Six, a 1, and a 4, so definitely more to queue up there. Training ground, which is going to take one of the 6 slots. This is Egypt. I might be training provincial archers here, yeah. So the archer range isn't bad. And this is a slot where we're going to build all the way up to Builders Guild, so we're just going to have to suffer here. And then, okay, we got no one being supplied at this point from these islands, so we give up on trying to make food and try instead to get the buildings built that, you know, make food. Okay, so it looks like the smokehouse will be done in a turn. That'll help a little bit with the food. And then obviously the province calming down will help a little bit with the food as well. And then it would be on to idols, but I don't think there are any idols. I am wrong. There is an idol. Oh, we now control all of Sinai. Okay, so once that's a province, the whole place will be a little bit more productive. Any other idols? No. Okay, so Dom has been saved by scorching weather in the desert. But once we get in there to defeat the approximately 10 units defending their current capital, then they'll be defeated and we'll be moving on to targets in basically the Greek area. No regionals want to play. Yep. And end turn. Oop. This is probably not a fight the provincial garrison's going to win. No, without a commander assigned to it, the provincial garrison isn't winning. One's running away from our army. Come back here. Okay, so Edom was allowed to leave, but the cavalry force is not going to have a problem with them. 4v10. Again, I don't think the province garrison's going to hold up against that. Although that has a fortified settlement, which is holding. Army does catch up and manages to take the territory back as it runs through it. Eight v3. Yeah, okay. Basically destruction of clips and forces. Oh, go take the province back again. Okay, a little bit of ping pong there. And that's why walls are useful. Nubia and Persia are now at peace. Macedonia is proposing to settle peace. You want us just to relinquish an objective. On you. Sure. Wasn't planning on taking the objective anyway, so that in theory is going to reduce the number of wars we're in by 1. You found out that war is a costly option. Now you want to make peace with Nubia. No, Egypt, I decided that, you know, a nation I don't even have a land border with isn't worth being at war with. Just state of affairs. Okay. Go end that fight. You go and... I want you to target the army. Target the army. End that fight. These guys merge. Oh, that's going to take a couple turns for the effectiveness to recover, but we'll swap you over to an offensive general, and then be careful so as to march you along the land here at least for 1 turn. So it has some time to recover. Ouch. That was a 17 large stack. It is not 17 large anymore. Apparently took more attritional losses getting back to port. Okay, we're going to build some more heavy warships to fill that out. That shouldn't be too hard to do. Yeah. We'll have those joined with those guys next turn. You can go hold the hill spot. Should hopefully stop more forces coming across. Etrusca, how do you feel? 32% chance for wanting peace. I'll take the 32% chance. We'll propose that. We've agreed to a peace deal with Persia. Edom, we're about to finish. Your subject, you're one of the people we're mainly at war with. Your subject, your subject. Okay. Hermes Eclipses. Okay. Get another adopt local administration. Although, don't currently have any place to play that. Okay, then we go through our territories one at a time. Make sure they're all doing something. 1 slot there, so we actually got something to build here. That wouldn't be a bad ceramics works. 64 or 65 money, 29 culture. There's other ways to move around ceramics, however. Scriptorum provides actually less culture than the glassworks, or than the ceramics works, although it would give me access to tier 3 culture here, which would probably be the reason to do it. Yeah, I'm going to pass on the ceramics works. There's always move ceramics around, although it is really good ceramic works. Comes up again, we probably won't pass up on it. And it will finish the ceramics works in 1 turn, so not even too worried about trying to sort infrastructure for it. Probably don't need a major port on an inland lake. And I don't need to import ceramics up here because we were actually making ceramics right next door, so we don't need to go up the temple line. And we're done with the conversions. So we're basically holding on to the gold site just because it's, or although, I suppose I needed a reroll, and we might be thinking about a reroll here. If I'm doing a reroll, the temple wouldn't be too bad. It's just, we're not going up there specifically as a ceramics importer, so we're not rushing it. This isn't the place where we train archers, so we don't need the archer range. Although it does provide equipment. 5 equipment. Which is 1/10 of a cataract? Or is it 1/20th of a cataract? One-20th of a cataract. So, in theory, if we had 20 of those, that would allow us to build an extra cataract every turn. Yeah, I have to pluck myself and grab that archer range. It's not super strong, but it moves us towards our goal of that territory, which is the ability to spam a bunch of cataracts in one wave. Could do the armor here. We don't really need the equipment here. And we've sort of already fished for the 2 main military buildings we're looking for, which is the military school and the military academy. So we'll pass on that. Probably grab the scriptorum. Access to tier 3 culture buildings. I'd really rather have... Oh, are we Alpine here? We're Alpine here. I was about to say, instead of the clay pit, I'd really rather have the quarry, but we can't get the quarry here. So it's the wheelmaker, the wheelmaker, the wheelmaker, I'm thinking, for that next infrastructure building. We don't need the weapons depot. You really don't need that tannery. And we don't need the gambling hall. So we're going to do a reroll here, just because we don't like any options being presented with. This is a place we train provincial archers. Or skirmish cav. No, medium cav. So we're going to do the reroll here as well. I've been presented with options and found them lacking. Late game, sometimes I get a bit picky, you see. I'm going to grab the Noble District here. It'll give us a 6 commerce building, provides us more loyalty. Not the 6 commerce, 6 culture. The purple one. Yeah. Could do the furnace here. Start to work towards paved road. Of course, if we're working towards paved road, we probably want the brickworks. Yeah, the brickworks. I don't need that much infrastructure to get the brickworks done. This is the Mesopotamian Delta. We got regions like this that decently would benefit from growth, so I should probably keep trying to grow the area. As much as it adds to micro. Okay, that's enough to get the brickworks done. And it's not super overkill. 2 build slots here. Yeah, build up that warehouse. Not that we really need fortifications here on the border, because this is client-state border, but... That's a good Thassalan temple. If we weren't trying to convert the Semitics, we'd probably pick it up. Take the Anchorage instead. grab the scriptorum, trying to work towards better culture buildings for the loyalty purposes. I think the Zero Slot Builder Guild. That's a little expensive because apparently we don't have tools over here. Yeah, a little expensive because we don't have tools over here, so it's basically just 1-to-1. Oops. Slight misclick there. I'll click you. Basilica. One build slot out in the desert, the terrible desert. We'll build the regional road. Move these guys from food to infrastructure to get that road done. There we go. Up on that northern border. This is the northern border, so we'll build the palisade. What do we train here provincially? Archers. So we probably don't want the stables. So pass on the stables. That's an okay orchard, and given that we're probably mountainous here, yeah, we're mountains, that's probably the best food building you're going to get that we don't already have, so go ahead and take it. We don't need the loyalty yet, so we're going to pass on Gladiator School. Could do the Weapons Depot for the siege resist. But we don't have walls here yet, so probably don't bother with that. Yeah, we'll do the rerolling. That location doesn't have walls. Two build slots. Sure, improve the wall. Although, actually no. Build the Salt House. Decent because of the frankincense. There is ways to import the myrrh to make it even better. Ooh, commercial port because we're on the Caspian. Get you done into that's. We can get that a little bit faster. We can probably get that in one. Yeah. The Delta's got lots to build. Tribune. Large farm. Could do the coin maker. Could definitely be a better coin maker, so we'll probably pass on that. Improve the wall. And a regional road. Decent dyeing mill. Better with cloth and silk, although there's definitely ways to get cloth and silk in here later to get a better. Lots of build slots. I'll take the brickworks. And then very scarce water is removed with wells. Okay, so there's an argument to go up the farm agriculture side then, even though it's not super strong. Oh, it's also removed with prospector resources, so I could just wait out for prospector resources, I suppose. And the islands here. Public works. Okay. Then we go into the idols, and there's not going to be any idols because everything's grouped up. And adopt local administration, which you can't play anywhere. No arts and siege worth doing, so let's go ahead and cycle the turn. See the armies do their thing. Okay, so that's the cavalry against the holdout of Edom. Complete the destruction of the remaining resistance. Didn't I order Oh, they disengaged into the next province. Okay. Present message ended hostilities. Okay, that's good to see. Buy, sell, or display slaves. We're going to distribute. Increase trade range, or trade acumen, or trade range. You know, I'll pay some money to get some acumen. Okay, we do really want them dealt with, so continue to try to run them down. You merge with that fleet. Okay, because we've got that fleet movement, it's probably safe enough to do that sort of jump forward. Most of the guys we're fighting over here are in pretty mountainous terrain, really mountainous terrain. So I do not want to send the cavalry really to go help them go fight in that territory. We'll probably have to try the cavalry to try to deal with various things, like the venomous beasts here. We'll go camp on the venomous beasts and get rid of them. That reminds me, we've still not dealt with the rumor of a hideous snowman here. They're very much still here. That's what we've got this army actually up here to do, is get rid of that snowman, and they've got a 20% chance every turn. So, mean probability of 5 turns. Pretty sure they've been there for more than 5 turns. But, you know, RNG, 5 turns. That's what the expectation is. It's going to take longer than that. Or it could take longer than that. And it has taken longer than that, but it might only take 5 turns. It's always 5 turns in the future, you see. Could do flax. That would give us some more money in the area. Not that we need money. In fact, arguably for this province, this is probably a better place to build, say, like an armor. Again, if we want to build up immortals. Okay, I sold myself in the immortals there. Noble Gardens, very tempting, 85 culture. If we were lower in the culture protectance ratio, I'd be like, Noble Gardens, yes. However, we've been presented with a national wonder. Palace Guard Extension 1. So this replaces the Palace Guard. And because of how national wonders work, that means we can build the Palace Guard in the other capital. Because we won't have Palace Guard anymore. This increases the legacy bonus from, I think it's a half on the... Oh no, it's still one on the previous one. Okay. So the legacy bonus stays the same. It's just a better version of the building. More manpower. Maybe more decadence as well. Yeah, more decadence as well. So it's basically just more manpower. Gonna provide more manpower. And more garrison? Yeah, bigger garrison. So we're gonna grab the palace extension. It then in theory means we'll be able to build another one in the other provincial capital. Exactly where we put the other capital. We have a second capital. I remember it being over here somewhere. We have a summer palace somewhere. Anyway. So yeah, we'll build the palace guard there. That's fine. 1 and a 2. Prison's tempting. We don't have the decadence problems that really warrant it, though. What's the provincial here? Medium cav. Archer range isn't worth it. We'll build the furnace then. We did work out that we probably do want some tools in Asia Minor, so building up blacksmiths to upgrade the toolmakers is not a bad idea. Delicacy shop, honey. That's probably not the way I want to move honey in. Honey, we probably want to move around with the wax maker. The street parlor here. Unless the mercenary provides... Well, it provides a little bit of equipment, but... The street parlor. Get access to the higher loyalty buildings. Similar thing here. We're starting to have a little bit of a loyalty problem. Preceptor house, get us into tier 2 culture. I like a lot of the tier 2 ones better than the tier 1s for loyalty. So, before we have a loyalty problem, let's be prepared to deal with the loyalty problem. We can garum shop here, it's probably not worth it. Yeah, not really worth it. We're gonna reroll here. I don't like these options. That means we take all this infrastructure and put it on culture. Take the Oration Tribune. Yeah, we'll take the Palisades. They're not too bad for military expertise. This is not coastal, so we're not going to be fishing for Thassalan Temple. Could do the candle shop to move the wax around. Not that worried about making more money by transporting resources around. It's not a place for interest in building. Building troops. I think we're just going to reroll there. Being presented with 2 really good buildings. Paved roads and the academy. We have other academies. I really want the trade range off the paved road, so we're going to pave the road. This is an area I think where we worked out we wanted to continue to grit, so we'll move it on to food. 2 open slots. Build up that wall. Lots of slots. Grab the smokehouse for happy growth. Grab the salt house for growth. I don't want to lose the 5% conversion bonus, but eventually we're going to be done converting, and then I will want the Thassalan Temple rather than the Temple. So let's go Crafting District instead. New person gives us a new building slot. We're getting really close to the point where we're going to want good loyalty. I'm going to take the theater here. That'll give us 6 culture buildings. So the next person that spawns in we can re-roll until we get a plus 40 loyalty building, which will fix that loyalty in the place. Although, obviously, to make that work, we need it to build in some reasonable time. That's better. This is one of the ones where we do actually want equipment, because this is where we train some heavy infantry. Although it's the mountain heavy infantry, so we're not necessarily training in really large batches, but... Oh, and I need a little bit more food, apparently. Here we go. 5 open slots. Yeah, we'll take the clear water. Place is a little dysfunctional after it fell to the enemy, but it'll recover a little bit, given time. Granary or regional roads. We're going to do regional roads, although granary is very tempting. No way to get rid of the shifting dunes. Meaning I should really stop building infrastructure buildings. Should more focus on military, commerce, and culture. Agriculture. Build the temple there. Or not the temple, the monument there. I probably don't need that much infrastructure. Swap some of these guys to food. Maybe we'll swap everything to food. Yeah, probably get away with swapping everything to food. Oh, no, I want a little bit more than that. A little bit more than that. There we go. 3 and a 2. Take the crafting district. Oh, no, it was a 3 and a 1. You know, we'll take the temple. I think we're out of coral range here, so we'll just accept that. It's not going to be good to hassle the temple anyway. Training ground. Would it be better if we had myrrh? And there might be some point where we get myrrh in there, but not going to worry too much about that. You know, we'll leave these guys on food so that we make sure these guys get fed. Then you're ready to go back to culture making. Regional road, working on there. Could do the tavern. We got no wine in the region, so that's not going to work. Smokehouse is always pretty good. We almost always have cattle somewhere and salt somewhere, so we can often do those back to back. This is the Delta, so improving the harbors in the area is not a bad idea. And the line expansion is always good when it's offered. It's a decent coastal market. Look at access to tier 3 commerce buildings. Yeah, we're being offered a large warehouse, so we'll build the large warehouse. Yeah, we really don't need the slave workforce down here. We could get it, but we don't need it. Do you want to have the loyalty problems there? We'll grab the armor. Not, I think I'm... Well, probably not building Egyptian skirmishers. Lots to build here. Go for the conversion. That's not a bad idea. We're going to do a reroll here. There's a couple different buildings that I want, but we're not being presented with any of them. Steelmaker. That means we'll be ready to do regional road, some mine expansion, some various other things. Very scarce water, so your wells. To get wells, I just need to build basically 2 more agriculture buildings. So we'll just bite the bullet and build the stud. It's not the best, but it's kind of the level of what we're going to get there, regardless of what we're trying to do. Okay. And the independents, which there shouldn't be any. You know, we'll probably plan to go across the Hellespont, instead of just going straight across the Ionian, the Aegean Sea. Yeah. So we can always pop out there, pop in there. A quick dash across the Byzantine Strait there is not too bad. The Hellespont, Pontus, Bosphorus, go across those places, shouldn't be too bad. And you're a little bit dilapidated, but we're careful, you should recover over time. We'll leave the Cav to do some various operations. And it's maybe tempting to try to raise an additional army. I think we'll hold off at least one more turn before we go ahead and raising another army. So let's go ahead and cycle the turn. We'll see... Well, we're not going to hopefully see anything crazy happen, but we'll see some progress with moving the troops here. Should be able to drive the remaining hostiles out of Asia Minor. or 31 versus 2 should be a nice simple cakewalk. It's the terrain we're worst in, but completely exhausted enemies don't fight very well. Spend metal, make money. Spend men, make money. They have rejected offer. Shame. We'll just offer it again. 38% chance that they agree to the ceasefire. Idiot. Troop motion wise, we're only going to do that move, and are we not at war? I thought we were at war with Byzantium. We're not at war with Byzantium. Okay. well that do that moving to the cross. So you'll cross. I'm pretty. Oh, I think this might technically be considered a land strait, so we're not actually setting sail to ocean. That works. Is that place fortified? It isn't. Yeah, we're gonna just cross. They're not gonna be able to stop us. We're gonna sweep through here. At which point we'll have to go to sea again, but we crush that point of resistance, they'll be out of the fight, and then we can properly secure the sea lanes for our transit. In fact, given that being the case, might want to do something a bit more aggressive. Siege down one of those islands, so we get you into the strait. Okay. Then you can keep walking on the coast like so. The cavalry haven't gotten rid of the venomous beasts here yet. And I'm pretty sure the cavalry army is large enough to do that. I think this is a good place to put a part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. We're going to record one more part tonight. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break to sip about half my tea down before we get into recording the next part. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.